snyggt är ju bara barnslig fantasi.
I think the interesting thing about the film was that it was based on a true story. So could you tell us a little bit about kind of how the film came together and how you came to be involved with it?
Bastøy, this prison island for children, is very well known in Norway. I hadn't heard of it before. But the director, Marius Holst, whom I've known for many years, he started 10 years ago, he started trying to make a film about it. And he approached me several years ago with a script that at that time wasn't very good, but that grew over time. And then I got really interested in it when he said he was going to look for boys with troubled backgrounds and criminal past, and basically boys that are outside of the society in a way for all the characters. And he started scouting, and he put up workshops all over Norway and did camps with them where he tried to figure out which ones he could use, and also to make them get an idea of what it would be like to work on a film. So everybody, all the boys, none of them are actors. They're all the real thing. Okay. And that was very exciting to me because the structure of the film, and it is a traditional get-out-of-prison film, but that is the bone structure, and the meat on it has to be real life. And I was convinced that those boys could produce that. And then gradually the script became better and better, and then shooting with them was fantastic. I think one of the big strengths of the movie is the performance from the boys.
Definitely. Yeah, you're associated with big Hollywood films, Pirates of the Caribbean and Avengers, obviously most recently. Is it important for you as an actor to kind of mix it up a bit and do a film like this with a more kind of challenging narrative, more intimate stories?
Yeah, I try to, and I've always done that, to try to go between the big Hollywood productions and then go and make small independent films where there's less money involved, which means that the director has more power, and the films become more personal. Yeah. And also they're usually more character-driven, which is interesting for me. Okay. In this film I even helped financing and co-producer.
Försvinn! Du har sett lite av världen och så tror du att du förstår, men det gör du inte så.
Nej, bestyrer det mye jeg ikke forstår.
I'm kind of curious what attracted you to the role, because I read that you were worried about playing a bad guy. So could you tell us a little bit about how you saw the character and how you approached him?
The original script was, the skeleton was very bare, which means that the function, which still is the function of the governor of the island, was to be the oppressor. And I did not want to make him a bad guy, because if he was a bad guy, then you could just change him and put a nice guy in there and it would all be hunky-dory. But it didn't work like that. The important thing is that it was the system and the society that was the problem. So no matter who was sitting there. So I decided to make him a very progressive guy for his time. Okay. But of course, a coward as well, because he didn't have the courage to go against the system either. And as a function, he is the oppressor, but it's not him, it's the system. Yeah. And he suffers from it too. And that made it interesting. There was a period when we started writing extra scenes to explain the governor more, but then the entire structure of the film sort of tilted. And then we went back to reduce him to in terms of what his dialogue and what he's doing, it's just the oppressor. But the way I play him, you hopefully see that he has his conflicts too.
You mentioned the young cast are brilliant in the film. What was it kind of like working with them, and did you see them going on to bigger things now after this film?
Some of them have. Like Trond, the blonde guy, he'd never been near a camera or a stage before. He was on probation when we found him. And his life was a total mess. And he said to the director after finishing the film, he said, "This is the first thing in my life that I've completed," which was a frightening thing in itself. But he went on to do other things, so his life has been totally changed and turned around. But it was also interesting to see how those boys who has been outcasts all their life lives, and who never was trusted with anything. Suddenly they were trusted with those roles, and they were expected to be on time. They were expected to be there and work hard. And they saw the other actors, the two professional actors or three professional actors that are in the film, being there and working hard, and they got respect for the first time in their lives. And there was many of them grew immensely during the shoot, and it was yeah, fantastic to see.
You mentioned that a lot of them, they were picked because they came from troubled background. Did that help? Lead to did that kind of help the dynamic of the film? Do you think, rather than using kind of fresh-faced sort of actors who didn't have that experience?
Yes, it's a big difference. What you see in their eyes, this sort of hardness that comes from every time you reveal any feelings or yourself, you get beaten for it. That kind of hardness that comes from that background. And at the same time, the vulnerability of the little child that is behind that shield of self-protection. It's very hard for a well-fed, wanna-be famous young actor to play that.